A landmark townhouse in New York City is up for sale. It has a storied history, and our Anthony, as in Mason, is a chapter in it. So back in 1935, the Morris B. Sanders House was the first modernist residential home built in the city. It's on the market now for the first time in more than half a century. As Anthony discovered, even after 60 years, you actually can go home again.
So when was the last time you were here?
I think it was 1965.
Wow.
Martin Iden of Compass Real Estate took me back to 219 East 49th Street with its distinctive facade of blue glazed brick.
So how many times have you been up these stairs?
Well, I can tell you, I don't think they've changed, Morgan.
Right, well, the carpet, I wouldn't doubt it.
Our apartment had been on the top 2 floors of the 5.5-story townhouse.
I remember trudging up these stairs after school. That's what I remember, yep. Which I could make a lot more easily then than I can. Oh, wow. Like everything when you get old, it feels smaller.
In January of 1964, my mother, Audrey Mason, was remarried to Henry Kohler, a painter and illustrator who lived and worked here.
This is a picture of Henry in 1960, as you can see in front of this same glass brick wall. This is a picture that my stepfather took not long after we moved in. He set us all up here, sort of with the bar behind us. As I remember, he put a camera on a table that was here on a timer. This is literally, I would say, within 6 months of us having moved in. My brother sitting here with Winston, our new pug, Mom, Henry, and a chubby-faced me with knobby knees.
I was 7 then. It was a distinguished block. The actress Katharine Hepburn lived across the street, and the composer, Stephen Sondheim, was just a few doors down.
I mean, on this very traditional block, this building was a real rebel.
Oh, it was, yeah, the revolutionary rebel.
Yeah.
The first modernist townhouse built in the city. It was featured in the magazine Architectural Forum in 1936. The architect Morris Sanders, who designed furniture, ceramics, and even a pavilion for the 1939 World's Fair, built it to house his apartment and studio.
When it was built, this place had central air.
Yeah.
In 1935?
Isn't that crazy?
And recessed lighting and all, which was really modern.
Yeah,
right?
and then again, a nod to the architecture of, the paneling from the Victorian era.
Yes.
But they made it updated and very simple fireplace here.
Yeah. And to have it be this open.
Yeah, the open, we talked about this, the open concept living, what everybody wants today.
Yeah, he
And
built
here
back
it
in
was.
1935.
Yeah, 90 years ago.
My first memory of this house was in the summer of 1963, when my mother brought me here to meet my stepfather, whose studio, his painting studio, was literally right in here. Well, it's just as small as I remember it. He was in a phase when he was painting artichokes. So he took a piece of paper and he pushed it across the table that was right in the middle of the room. And I was sitting here. And I remember looking towards the windows. And he said, "Why don't you draw me an artichoke?" So I took the colored pencils that were in front of me and I did.
When we moved in 1964, he had taken my little drawing and framed it.
And I don't think I would remember that moment, or certainly not the date, if he hadn't written it on the back. 12th of June, 1963. It lives in my bedroom now, and it's always kind of an icon of the day we met and the day my life changed.
I spent a couple of hours at 219 soaking in the memories.
So this was my brother's and my room. This room felt really big in 1965. These are not my toys, but these are pretty great. I wish these were my toys. My bed was there. I remember one night I wrote myself a note and it said, "Don't forget to get up early in the morning and get dressed fast." And my stepfather apparently thought this was very amusing. And he framed this too. And this note, framed the way he did when matted, lived next to his bed for the rest of his life. But I wrote it right over there in the corner.
The asking price for the building is just under $5 million.
I think my parents probably rented this apartment for a few $100s a month.
Well, that's, the New York story, right?
We lived at 219 for only 2 years. For the past 45 years, it's been owned by a marketing executive and an art dealer. I found a little history inscribed inside a closet door.
The day schools closed due to coronavirus. This tells you every house has so many different chapters. I was thinking about all of this when I was reading a book by an Italian architect about his childhood home. Every house is a tangled web of things and incidents, he writes. The autobiography of whoever has built it and used it. Perhaps atmosphere, he says, is the true substance of architecture.
Here, 60 years ago, my mother's life turned. Mine too. In 2008, the city designated 219 East 49th Street a landmark. But it had long been that for me.
And my thanks to Martin Iden and the team at Compass for letting us go back. And I never thought I would get to see that place again. So it kind of blew my mind.
But Anthony, I love looking at the pictures of you and how you became who you are.
Well,
All of that shapes you.
It sure does. And the funny thing is that little artichoke that I drew and the fact that, I have it right here. I still have it. One of the lessons I learned, and I apply it every day in doing this job. What Henry taught me when he did this was the way you frame something changes the way you see it.
Ooh.
Because this to me was it was a drawing I basically thought I threw away.
Yes.
And he gave it meaning. And that's what I learned there. And that's why I have incredibly vivid memories of that place, even though I was only there for 2 years. And that kind of was like, why? And I was like, well, your whole life changed here.
And you're still
awesome.
a big doodler.
Appreciate you, Anthony.
Still
Awesome
that.
stuff once again.
Really great.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Very touching.